As a physician in full-time clinical practice, focused to the point of hyper-focused at treating chronic multi-etiological illness, I realized that the supplement industry had several shortcomings. For the most part, we struggled to find supplements for our Lyme disease patients, mold illness patients, and then just even patients with need for better liver support, better inflammation and pain support, to find supplements that are focused and very deliberately created for specific conditions, to support specific organ systems and biological processes, to enable patients to have effective natural options that are sustainable from a perspective of affordability, that the supplements are on point enough, and that they're well made and able to stand up to the demands of a specific condition or problem, let alone to sustain the number of bottles and the number of pills and the expenditure of money on the timeline. Those were the things that really motivated me to start, together with Maria, the supplement company Return Healthy. So we were finding in the clinic that a lot of patients were not getting the results that they needed, in spite of taking the appropriate supplements and the appropriate amounts of supplements. And also a big limitation is that a reasonable amount of our patients just simply couldn't put down and keep down the amount of pills that is needed to overcome the obstacles in their way. So what we did is we started focusing on putting the appropriate nutrient patterns together so that we can have patients with the appropriate on-point supplements, but that they're able to sustain the treatment that they need with fewer bottles, fewer pills, and a lot less money on the timeline, so that they can actually get the results that they're able to achieve. That was the main reason that stimulated me to start formulating and very deliberately putting together supplements for our chronic disease patients. I started Return Healthy out of frustration with the existing supplement market. As a clinician fully invested in treating chronic, long-standing conditions with infections, toxicity, inflammation, pain, I wasn't getting the results that I knew patients could get. So I started looking at more efficiently and effectively putting combinations of nutrient patterns together so that the supplement range are more on point for specific conditions, specific organs in organ systems, and also to drive specific functions for the average chronic disease patient. For the average patient that sees an integrated or natural health practitioner or that wants to take supplements for their condition, the usual problem is that you struggle to get enough pills and capsules into your system and also have space for food and nutrition. The other limiting factor on the timeline is that to put together a course of care or a combination of natural health supplements is that the cost often prevents people from staying on the correct patterns of nutrients for a long enough time to be able to fundamentally erode the basis for why they have the condition. So we find that the cost of supplements oftentimes let people stop supplements when they are helping, or when they should be taking the supplements for a longer period of time to be able to get results, they stop because it just is too expensive over time. One of the benefits of the Return Healthy supplement line is that we offer high quality, clinically focused formulas at a price point that is very reasonable and sustainable. We depend on the supplements in our supplement line to be able to stand up to chronic disease, chronic infections, inflammation, and toxicity. We take an enormous amount of care and we go to great pains to ensure that the ingredients in our supplements are potent and that they're pure. We go through rigorous testing of the individual ingredients as we source them from around the world. for microbial contamination, for industrial and metal toxicity. The formulas that contain anything from a handful to a double handful of ingredients are also tested for purity, where we're able to for potency after putting the ingredients together to ensure that we offer only high quality and pure products to our patients and to our clients. Due to the focus that goes into the formulation, in other words, the putting together of the nutrients, it's in every single case very goal-oriented. So we make supplements for conditions. We also make supplements that support organs and organ systems. So our supplements are good for patients with clinical illness, with infections, with inflammation, pain, toxicities, but also the supplements are very well suited for people that want to do health maintenance. Due to the complexity of how do I select an appropriate supplement for myself, whether you've got a clinical condition, a diagnosis, or you're just somebody that wants to stay well and keep up your function, our website is a self-guided experience where there's very good and clear information that describes the thinking and the purpose behind each supplement. ReturnHealthy.com is specifically designed to help you navigate towards the supplements that you need. One of the really important concepts that I want to communicate to our clients is that when you have a chronic condition, it takes time to turn back the clock. Natural medicines work wonderfully well, but they're gentle, they work together with your body, and optimizing processes sometimes takes a bit of time. So remember, our body clicks on caveman time still, and in spite of us living at breakneck speed in 21st century America, Canada, elsewhere, you do need to give your body time. So give it a few months' time. In putting together the formulas for specific conditions or organs, I take great pains to study the most efficient way of achieving the goal. We're very deliberate in putting them together. So for example, in the adaptogen immune supplement, I was getting worn out in recommending for most of our patients, they need adaptogens. These are herbs that help with energy, stamina, adrenal function, as well as immune balancing and strengthening supplements. There's this incredible overlap between the adaptogens and the immune boosting and balancing supplements. So instead of providing a patient with one bottle of adaptogens and another bottle of immune supplements, we put them together in a way that is complementary and that you can achieve this dual effect of an adrenal adaptogenic formula that is also really balancing and strengthening to the immune system. One of our most effective formulas is called Binder Blend, and again, it's a combination of binders that is multi-purposed. So instead of just simply using activated charcoal, organic chlorella, bentonite clay, the various types of silicas out there, I've put them together to create essentially a multi-purposed, broad-based binder. And because most people experience digestive discomfort, slowdown of the digestive tract towards constipation when taking binders, we also added the very generous helping of slippery elm, so that in addition to providing somebody with the ability to bind up multiple classes of inflammagens, chemicals, unwanted substances, and repackage them for elimination, we've also added something that can shelter the digestive tract from the typical impact of the binders. In putting together an infectious formula, for example, the Cryptolepis Synergy, we've picked the most effective herbs for intracellular infections. For the most part, we're thinking about Babesia, Bartonella, Mycoplasma, Chlamydia species, and we've used the Cryptolepis Sida acuta Alcornea bidens that perform very well together, and then in addition study the survival mechanisms that these microbes have evolved in order to survive antibiotic and also herbal antimicrobial treatment. So built into the cryptolepis synergy, I've added a really extraordinary Mexican herb called epazote or Chenopodium, together with the thinking behind our cryptolepis synergy, which we've purposed towards intracellular infections. The common ones that we find in clinical practice are Babesias, Mycoplasma species, Chlamydia species, Bartonellosis, is to put together the more effective herbal medicines that we purpose toward them. So we've got Cryptolepis, Sida acuta, Bidens, Alcornea that work together towards interfering with the microbial survival, replication, but also I've studied the more entrenched survival mechanisms that are used by these microorganisms to stay in play in the presence of antimicrobial or antimicrobial herbal treatments. So we've put herbs in the cryptolepis synergy like the Mexican herb epazote or Chenopodium. We've put in also Salvia miltiorhiza that helps the body generate the required nitrous oxide to overcome the microbial depletion of the nitrous oxide mechanism. Copaiba essential oil is dual purpose toward facilitating the appropriate generating of nitrous oxide, in addition to being an extraordinary anti-inflammatory, which is very useful in these chronic inflammatory cases, which is very useful in these chronic infections, as well as Eupatorium perfoliatum, which helps with that deep-seated aches and pains, night sweats, bone pains that some of our patients experience when they have these chronic infections. We also have, to help decongest the lymphatics and the spleen, I've put in Cyanothus americanus, which has been very useful in helping to overcome yet again one of the permanent kind of footholds of especially the bigger intracellular bugs like the Babesia species towards congesting the spleen. Return Healthy supplements are formulated to drive results. These are the substances that I use every day in my clinic, treating patients with long-standing chronic conditions that are by definition treatment resistant. So when you take Return Healthy supplements, you can really rely on them. I do.